So you list that he dealt with those violent thoughts by playing video games, by killing animals, and going to a shooting range or watching movies, correct?
Correct.
I need help understanding this because you say he does not fit the definition of having mental illness, and then you say he's been able to control these violent voices by killing animals. So he should have been able to stay home that day and torture a bird instead of doing what he did.
So again, counselor, I understand it's very hard to imagine how someone who's sane can torture animals and who can commit mass murder. But the fact remains that they are, and they do. It's not everyone who tortures an animal, it does it because of psychosis or because of mental illness. It may seem completely horrible or illogical to people who are not in that situation, but it doesn't automatically equate to mental illness. So the point I was making in this paragraph where I was talking about his ability to conform his conduct to the requirements of the law at the time of the offense, what we mean by that is, did he have alternative courses of action that he could have chosen instead of shooting the people at the school? And he demonstrated he had multiple alternatives. We might not agree with them, but he was able to deal with those urges in other ways rather than killing people. And that included killing animals. It's not great, but he was able to do things other than killing people, and he chose not to.
You stated in your report that Mr. Crumbley's comportment with police and jail staff following the shooting suggests that he is able to engage in appropriate behavior surrounding this period of time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And again, I know we talked about this before, mental illness presents itself in many ways, correct?
Yes and no, counselor. If someone's acutely psychotic, that presents in a typical way. So yes, everyone is different, and anxiety might present differently than depression, but there are set things that we expect clinically if someone is acutely psychotic, and he did not display any of those.
Okay, so I asked more specifically just about mental illness.
Sure.
So psychosis
yes.
isn't the only type of mental illness. You would agree with me?
Correct.
Okay. Not everybody with debilitating mental illness is walking down the street and talking to voices. You would agree with me?
Correct.
Okay. And I believe you touched on this before. A psychotic episode doesn't last perpetually, correct? It's not forever.
Correct.
Okay. So someone may be having a psychotic episode and then return to reality.
Not in the way that this was displayed, no. Because again, without intervention, without some sort of antipsychotic treatment or psychiatric intervention, it would be very atypical for someone to be acutely psychotic and hallucinating and show no signs of that afterwards or in the days, weeks, and months following the offense.
You testified earlier that there was no bizarre behavior. Is your testimony that shooting fellow students is not bizarre behavior?
Not in a way that indicates mental illness, no. Again, we're not saying that it's good behavior or that it's normal behavior, but not all murder, not all violence is attributable to mental illness.
I want to finish with talking about the form of your report. You would agree with me that when you're doing a particular examination like the one you did here for criminal responsibility, there's a form or a rubric that is used?
I don't know if it's a rubric, but yes, we have reports with standard language, for example, the statutory language that is similar from one report to the other.
Okay. And would it be fair to assume that when you started with the center, you read other people's reports or you became familiar with how other doctors were doing their reports?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go over another report that you completed. I apologize for the microphone. Because of the sensitive nature, obviously, of the defendant's name, I'm just going to call him MC. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I don't intend to admit this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you have a moment, can you review that report and see if that is one that you authored?
Yes, I did.
So I'd like to compare the reports that you did for Ethan and this other defendant that we're calling MC.
Okay.
So if you could go to the first page of the report, and Your Honor, I will always give you the report pages for Ethan, since that's the report that you have in front of you.
Thank you.
So page 1, the bottom of the first paragraph, you would agree with me that in both reports you write, this report summarizes findings from his her evaluation and my reasoning with respect to my opinion regarding his mental state at the time of the offenses referenced above. You would agree with me it's the same in both reports?
Correct, because the purpose of the evaluation is the same.
All right, let's go to page 57 of Ethan's report. And we're looking at page 19 in the report of MC. Obviously, you stated you quote the exact same applicable statute, correct?
Correct. The statute is the same for criminal responsibility evaluations.
Okay. Page 58, section under conclusions and opinions relative to criminal responsibility. That is page 19 in the other report.
Correct.
You would agree with me, the paragraph begins to reiterate, according to Michigan law, a person is deemed, and it goes on. You would agree with me that that section is completely the same?
Judge, I'm just going to object to the relevance. I believe what counsel's trying to do is show that this doctor's own work product, her own work product, is similar to her work product in this case. When Dr. King testified, he was cross-examined about taking the conclusions of Dr. Carol Holden and adopting them as his own, and then testified it was the rubric, and that's why that happened. This line of questioning has no relevance to that topic because this is Dr. Anacker's own work product. So I object.
Thank you. Your response to relevance.
Your Honor, in response, obviously they were attacking Dr. King because the report was similar to someone else's report. The point of what I am going through here, and I can speed it up to the opinion that she has, it is the exact same wording, and that was attacked very, very harshly when it came to Dr. King. So whether he was using a rubric from a different doctor or using a report from a different case, it is a different case and a different set of facts. So if the summary opinion that she has signed here is the exact same in this other case that she has reviewed, I believe that it's relevant.
Thank you. If you could please get to the point, I'm going to sustain the objection, but you may ask the question about the conclusion.
Thank you, Judge.
Of course. Let's move to the opinion then.
Yes, let's.
Let's go to opinion regarding mental illness.
Yes.
That is page 59 on Ethan's report, page 20 of MC. You would agree with me that both reports state regarding the question of whether you substitute a new patient's name in, had a mental illness as defined by statute at the time of the alleged incident for which he is charged. It is my opinion that he did not, correct?
Correct, because I also thought that patient did not have a mental illness. That's just stating my opinion.
Sure, and it's the exact same sentence structure, the exact same sentence, correct?
All it's stating is regarding the
I'm
question.
asking yes or no. Is
Yes.
it the same?
Yes.
Let's move then to opinion regarding relevant capacities.
Okay.
That is page 64 on Ethan's report, page 24 on the other report. You would agree with me that it is the exact same except the name is switched?
It's a restatement of the statutory guidelines.
I'm asking yes or no. Is it the same except you switch out the name?
Yes, because the statutory guidelines are the same.
Let's move to the very last page of your report
Okay.
and of Ethan's report. Summary opinion. Would you agree with me it is word for word the same except you switch out the person's name?
Because it is relisting the statutory
I'm asking
definition
yes
of
or
mental
no, ma'am.
illness. Yes, counselor.
And that is your summary opinion. It is the exact same in both cases. You're switching out the name.
Because you can't change the statute. The definition is the same, no matter how you write it. So what I am restating in my summary opinion in both cases is that I did not believe the person met the statutory definition. So yes, it is the same.